Hello y'all on YouTube, this is Rob with Rob's Nerdy Knives. Today we have a very special review impressions of a knife that was loaned to me by an awesome channel member. This is the Miguron Arma, a big boy. This is a really cool knife. Let's get into this knife. There's a lot of things to talk about this knife. I think it's super stinking cool. I go through a little list of my things that I like to do with the knife and talk about. So let me kind of just do that. All right, so the knife name is called the Arma. It's made by Miguron. It is one of the, what I would call, overbuilt series of knives that seems to be very popular lately. The designer, I'm going to say it's an in-house designer by Miguron. If there is a designer and somebody knows it, that would be cool. I don't see anything on here. So the handle and scale and liner materials, let's talk about that. Titanium, beautifully milled, and it's milled and weight relief on the inside big time. It's got some beautiful texture on there. You can see that wonderful texture going on there. I think that's really stinking cool. All T8s all the way around there, and I think it's T10 or T15 on there. Let's see. This is a T15. No, it is, or T15. Sorry, this is a T15, yeah. So T15 there, and then I think all the screws are, they're T8s, if I'm not mistaken. T8s. Oh, wait, those are are those T10s? Yeah, T10s on there, and then these are T8s right here. Yeah, okay, very cool. So deep mill pocket carry clip, beautiful. It's got nice relief. It does have a nice little bend to it going in and out of the pocket. Even for an overbuilt baby like this, yeah, you can carry this. I mean, don't carry it with gym shorts without a string, or you'll be showing, you know, stuff you shouldn't be showing, right? Beautiful jimping on top, M390 blade steel titanium. It's got a captive pivot, which is great. It is a frame lock. The frame lock is really nice. Got a steel bar insert with over travel stop. It's got some nice jimping on the flipper, and it's got a fuller thumb hole for reverse flicking. Nice textured chamfering all the way around, which is nice and comfortable. The lock type we talked about is a frame lock, and the detent ball goes in. It locks in really, really well. It opens multiple times. You can do the flipper, which works really well, and you have to clear the detent. The detent ball clears right there. Make sure you catch that flipper. You don't want that to fall on you because that has some weight to it, and it is a guillotine. We'll do some measurements and weights here in a little bit about it. This is not a light boy. It's a big one, all right? And it closes really well. Once you clear that detent ball, let me show you right there, it does close really well. And you can absolutely reverse flick it. You just got to make sure you get high on there, right? Got to make sure you get past that, or you get low here like that. Being a heavier knife, I don't know if I would feel real comfortable doing that all the time, but it is possible, and you can flick it this way, right? Just clear that detent, or you get the little double clutch going on there. And I kind of appreciate the double clutch because of the weight of this knife. I got to be honest with you, it's huge, it's big, it's not a small knife. And I actually took this apart. I was going to put Skiff washers on there. Skiff doesn't make washers that fit this, at least not yet. Those washers were huge. It felt like it was like marbles that were inside a giant ring. You know, I mean, they're huge. I've never seen cage bearings that large before, and yeah, they were big. The blade itself is beautifully, it's a thick blade. You can see that, we'll measure that in a little bit. Flat grind, nice satin finish. Comes to a pretty sharp edge, right? It definitely cut, but it's wide. It's definitely thick, so it's not gonna be a super slicey. You can have a finger troll. The finger troll works really well. The jimping works really well. All of that stuff, all the materials here is really, really nice. The blade steel is M390. It's satin grind, satin finish. All that works really great. Let's do some measurements. Let's weigh this super light knife here, okay? Let's see what it weighs. I believe, if I remember correctly, it's a little over half a pound. Yeah, 8.6 ounces. That's over half a pound. Definitely over half a pound. That's a lot of knife. That is a lot of knife for sure. So there you go. All right, so let's measure the length of this knife because it's not small. We're looking at a knife that's going to be about 8.5 inches total length. Your handle grip right here is about 4 inches. Within here, if you use the finger troll, you get about full 5 inches. So definitely, I have large hands, and extra large, double extra large hands can absolutely fit this. If you choke up, triple extra large for sure. Plenty of room. The chamfering makes it comfortable. It's not quite contoured, but the chamfering is very comfortable. No sharp spots anywhere, which is really appreciated on a big, heavy knife. All right, overall blade length. From tip to the back of the handle, we're about 3 3/4. So 3.75, 3.8, right? Overall cutting length, we're about, I want to say 3 5/8 inches. It's definitely over 3.5 inches. Not a small knife, for sure. All right, so Let's measure the blade stock thickness. Everything about this knife, in a way, makes me smile and laugh because it's so big. Would I ever buy a knife like this? Probably not. I would never have this in my collection because I like to carry every knife I have. And this is just too big, right? I wouldn't carry this. But I appreciate checking it out just because it's really cool to check out. I don't collect just to collect. Some people do. And if that's your thing, collect away, man. It's your collection. You do what you want, right? So here we go. All right, let's see. Make sure we get this right. Oh my gosh. It's 252 thousandths of an inch, 0.25 inches. It's a quarter of an inch thick. This is a quarter of an inch thick blade. That is just ridiculous, but fun. It's ridiculous, but fun. So it's a quarter of an inch thick blade. Yeah, nothing about this knife is small for sure, right? All right, so what about this knife? It runs around $300. It's barely into the regular category. If you can find it someplace where you can get 10% off, like at White Mountain Knives, and you can use RNK10. By the way, I have a coupon. If you didn't know, use RNK10, you get 10% off. You could get 10%, that would be like $270 if they still have it, and still that price, at least as of this video, is $299. So it definitely falls into the regular, very top of the very regular knife. Any modifications, any sort of extras on this, it would probably be into the high end for sure, right? But right now, this is at the very top tier of regular, very bottom tier of regular. So my top tier is $100 to $300. I mean, my regular is $100 to $300. My high end is $300 to $600, and anything above $600 is a custom set mid-tech kind of knife. All right, purposes, EDC. Can you absolutely, you could EDC this. Yeah, sure. You can absolutely, could you hard use it? Sure. The frame lock here, it engages. It's probably locked up, I want to say a good 20%. It is in there solid. There's nothing that's loose. There's no pivot lash. It locks in. Let's listen to that detent. Nice big click. Let's do it again. Nice big click, no detent lash. It's in there solid. You can absolutely hard use this. I mean, you know, as hard use as you can with any frame lock. I would never recommend tapping, whacking it like an axe or a hammer. I wouldn't recommend, even for an overbuilt knife, I don't think that's really the best intention, right? I don't know if you'd want to do that. But you could, you know, you do whatever you want. Is it a collection piece? I think for most people, this is a collection piece. It is, I mean, some people will carry this. Some people enjoy carrying this, and that's absolutely your prerogative, and enjoy it. If I owned it, I would carry it. I would absolutely carry it. That would be my one condition for owning this. But for some people, it may just be a collection piece. But it's a pretty cool knife. I like it. I like it a lot. So overall design, let's talk about the ergos, the handles, and everything else. For a big knife, of all the big knives I've seen, this is one of those that I really appreciate. I like the design, the look of this. Miguron makes some really beautiful knives as far as I'm concerned. There's a couple of their budget knives and some other knives I would love to try and check out. Just haven't had the funds and focus on that just yet, but they definitely have some interesting stuff out there, and I would love to take a look at that. But this big bad boy, this overbuilt giant mammoth of a knife, is definitely one of those knives that I appreciate checking out. It has great ergos. It's comfortable. That right there, good solid lock-in. My hand fits in there, got plenty of room. I can choke up, plenty of room with that finger choil right there. The jimping is very functional. The chamfering all the way around is very comfortable. There's no sharp spots anywhere. Even right here, it's not too sharp. I mean, it's kind of sharp, but I'm nowhere near that spot, so I'm usually pretty good with that, right? The cutout with the chamfering on the lock bar is really great. Easy access to get to. I can drop it down to that point where I get past the detent ball and the double clutch, and it closes really nicely. So that is really nice. I like that a lot. So the ergos is great. The opening and closing. The flipper works really wonderfully, and the thumb hole works ridiculously wonderfully. For such a huge knife, as heavy as this is, a half-a-pound knife, yeah, that works really, really, really great. So the fidget factor, well, you've got a beautiful thumb hole or fuller hole. You got the flipper, and technically, see if I can still do it, middle finger flick. I got a little bonus middle finger flick going on there. You see that? Little cutout right down there. Get your finger nice and low. Watch this. You have a middle finger flick, so you get bonus here. So this is going to put it up there as far as fidget factor out of 10. I'm going to say the fidget factor that you can get out of this one, oh, it's real close to a 7. I mean, for the size, I can't knock it down because it's so big. I'm going to give it a 6.5 and round it up to a 7. This is a 7. I mean, it's not a solid 7 by itself, but it's a 6.5 rounded to a 7. It's a good fidget factor. Now, fidgetability, I call it fidgety goodness. So my fidgety goodness on this knife here, out of that 6.5, hold on, I'm going to just flick it again. Just confirm what I'm thinking. Can I even do it over here? Absolutely. I got to give it 100. I got to give it 100. 100%. I mean, if you're going to do an overbuilt knife and you're going to go crazy like this is the way to do it. I mean, I like this knife. Everything about this works. It works as a carry knife for being ridiculous. And I love it. I mean, honestly, some people are like, you don't need anything that big. I get it. You don't. You probably don't. And this might be too big. And some of you guys who have giant Shaquille O'Neal hands, he'll be like, finally, a knife that fits my hand, right? So for you guys with gigantic hands, this might be the knife you've been looking for. You know, if you're one of these guys that, you know, you when you play marbles, you pick up bowling balls and you shoot them like, you know, little bowling balls or your marbles, then here you go. This would work for you. But, yeah, I got to give it 100%. It's really fantastic. So what are my thoughts? Would I buy this knife? No, I wouldn't. I honestly wouldn't. I'm not into big bulky knives. Would that change? Who knows? It may. Maybe someday I'll be like, oh yeah, I'll get into this. But right now, it's not really my cup of tea. I really still strongly, after years, have felt every knife I own, I want to carry, right? I don't like to buy knives I don't carry. I have one Safe Queen. It's my dad's knife. He bought before World War II. It's almost 100 years old. That's my one Safe Queen. My kids want that knife, right? It's very precious because of where it came from and the history behind it. And it's not really great steel. It's not a great sheath. It's a fixed blade. It's just, I save it because it's family, right? So that being said, yeah, this is it's not something I'd add to my collection, but would I recommend this? Yes, I would. I absolutely would. If I got into big giant folders like this, or if anybody is looking for a giant folder, this would be the one I would absolutely recommend. This would be the one I would own. I would, because I like this knife. Everything about this design I like. If you shrunk this down, made it thinner, I would like the design, period. I think it would work really well, right? So I like this knife. I like it, and I definitely would recommend it. So that's my thoughts on this one. You know, I take it for what it's worth. You let me know what you think. Let's get some nice close-up shots before we check out here real quick. But I just want to show you let me zoom in a little bit. Let's zoom in on that blade. Beautiful satin finish on the blade with a big thumb hole there. And you can even see the nice Miguron little logo. It's a captive pivot, the nice traction. All these little things really help to give it some traction when you hold it. Big T10 screws right there, right? And then you go on this side, just 2 screws on that side. And then over here, you've got your blade over here as well. And you can see the M390, by the way. Big satin finish. Notice that grind this way and grind that, or the finish this way and the finish that way. A nice cross finishing. You've got the beautiful texturing going on here on the scales. Here's your T15 pivot. You got a T8 there for your steel bar insert over travel stop. And what I mean by over travel stop, there's a little piece that sticks out, so you can't push this all the way out. It won't allow you to bend this lock bar. And then you have the little cutout for the lock bar. Even this is not super sharp. This has been rounded. That's really cool. The clip here as well is nice and rounded. Works really well. Has a little flexibility. T10s here, T8s there. Really nice. Okay. So there's a lot to be said about this knife. Really well. All right, so let's look on the inside. You can see some of that beautiful milling, some nice weight relief. It does have a full backstop that goes all the way around, and you're going to need that backstop. Let me just tell you real quick. Because if you stick your finger in here, you will touch the blade. And so my thing is, if you're going to carry this regularly, use this, you might consider, you know, not having that little part sharp. Just my thoughts. You might consider that not being super sharp, because you could put your finger in it, you can cut yourself. If you put your finger and you run it in there really hard, yeah. That's the reason why they have this full back spacer here. I mean, it would be nice if it went all the way up there to cover that, but I think that gets too close to the end. You can even see that it's kind of milled. I don't know if you can see that. You can see it's kind of milled out right there. So yeah, pretty cool for sure. So let's take a look at this here, full size. Let's get kind of nice lighting on there. Take a look at that finish, satin finish in the blade. Let's look at the other side. You can do a nice zoom and pause. See the beautiful texturing. Yeah, pretty cool little knife. The action, let me show you. Once you clear that double clutch, it drops pretty well. It is a pretty cool stinking little knife. No, sorry, nothing little about it. Pretty cool stinking big knife. So, hey, if you found this content fun, interesting, well, before I say all of that, if you have any questions about the knife, let me know. Any questions for the channel, do let me know in the comments down below. I do try to reply to everybody and reach back out to you. I do as long as I can. Where the channel is at, that's one of my goals, is always to try to interact with people. May not always be able to have long interactions, but I always try to talk to everybody. So there you go. It looks like a little oil from the knife there. All right. Some of the knives I've been taking apart and cleaning and stuff. So anyways, Yeah, if you found this content fun, interesting, worthwhile, informative, or entertaining, would you please consider hitting the like button down below? And if you've already hit that like button, would you please consider hitting the subscribe button? Subscribing and liking the videos really helps out the channel. It really does. Thank you. It allows the channel to grow, produce more content, do more things ultimately for you guys. So thank you. Thank you to every one of you guys, especially those of you who watch the videos, who like the videos, and who also subscribe. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. Every bit of money I make from this channel goes toward the giveaways. Just to let you know that. Yeah, that's what it is. It's all about you guys. And if you didn't already, maybe hit that notification button so you can be notified of future content. And to all my channel members, thank you. Thank you to you guys. You guys are amazing. I appreciate every single one of you guys very much. If you've been on the fence, you thought, hey, I'd like to be a channel member, check out the description down below. I have a link for that. There's 3 different tiers. I do a once a month giveaway. If you're a channel member, if you've been a channel member, just became a channel member, email me with your name and address. And if you've never received a sticker before, I will mail you a sticker. If you do the top tier, you get a special premium sticker, and we'll also do exclusive content, different things like that. So there's different things depending on how you want to help the channel, how you want to become a channel member. I'm honored either way if you want to. Don't ever feel like you have to be. I just would love to have you, and I would be honored to have you support the channel, allow this channel to grow, to do more things. Really, it would be cool. And I look at it as like, you know, just your support and your partnership with the channel. It means the world to me. So thank you. Hey, if you haven't already, maybe check me out over on Instagram at robs_nerdy_knives. Again, that's on Instagram at robs_nerdy_knives. Hey, thanks so much for watching today. Have a great day and a great week. Bye.